All right, guys, I'm going to show you what I did for the last day and a half. I took a steel plate and I had to make a bracket, a piece that goes under the headlights, a little bracket. It was missing, so I had to make it. And it was a treat to make. Let me show it to you and let you see what you think. All right, here it is. This is what I had to make. This is the left side, and it holds the headlights. The headlight sits right in here, and it bolts onto that, like so. And yeah, this is supposed to be bent up like that, and it goes like that, and holds the headlights. Well, I only had one side, and of course I had to make this is a left, and I had to make a right. And it's made out of steel. I went and cleaned it up a little bit to try to make them both look the same, because the casting was pretty rough on this one. And I dressed it up on the other one. Now this is one I made. This is the plate I made it out of. It's a 1-inch thick piece of plate. And it was a hoot to make it, let me tell you. That's what I made right there. That's where I cut it out of. There it is. It's a lot of cutting and whittling. You'd think you'd carve in a piece of wood, but it was ain't nothing cut easy on this. I have to drill a hole in the back of it just yet. But it took everything I had in here to make this. A skill saw with a metal cutting blade in it. About 5 or 6 of these cutting wheels, little thin ones. Got die grinder, big grinder, small grinder. There's the plug I cut out of the center of it. That went right in there. And I used this here, which was a metal cutting hole cutter. And that worked very well. I'm really surprised on how good that worked, because I got that at Harbor Freight. But it worked well, because I was concerned about how I was going to do the hole. This piece here, where it's cut, I had to take I just took one of these, that wheel, and just kept on going through it and cutting little chunks out of it, little V's. And then knocking them out until I got it roughed a little ways down. And then I took my body grinder with a metal cutting wheel in it. It was 16-inch thick, I think, and just started doing this to it. And so I rounded it. And then I had to fart with it a little bit to get it, because the bottom floor of it was rounded like that. So it's hard to make it flat. But I got it, and I used my verniers to mic it as I was going along, because I had to do it fairly slow. Because if I messed up any of the cuts, it would come back to bite me in the butt. So there you are. I've got everything within like 5/1000ths of the original. And I figured that's good enough, because it does go under the headlights and you're not going to see it. And so there we are. Now that's done. Today I have to make this piece, which is a lot smaller, but this is the other half of this. This sits there. And that sandwiches this here. That's the headlight bracket. So that's how it goes. So there's 2 pieces to this. So I've made the bottom. Today I'm going to make that. So that means I've got to hack another piece out of this. And it's going to be a hoot, because I know how much trouble it's going to be. This one's a little different. it's going to have its own set of problems. This one is back cut right in here, which, see how it's back cut? That's going to be sort of a tricky thing to do. You know, it's nothing flat to go off of, really, because this one here, first cut I made was this flat piece. That gave me a place to work off of so I could start measuring things. But on this one, there's nothing except the sides to use as some kind of, you know, something to measure off of. So we'll just have to see how this is going to go. But it's a pain in the butt. I guess I could have sent them out and had them casted, but well, I wanted to get it done, and it would probably cost me $500 to probably have that casted, these two pieces, and then I don't even know if it'd be right. So I just have to deal with it. Well, I'm going to get started and get hacking away. It's a little cold out here right now. I think it's only like 48 degrees, so it's a little chilly. And I want to do all this stuff outside because of the chips and smell and the nasty. And I got metal all over stuck in every place you can see here. Little fine chips of metal. Boy, if you get one of these in your eye, you're really going to be done for. So I put my eye protection on and a mask, and your shit's going everywhere. Getting in your hair. I did it yesterday without getting anything in my eye. I'm going to see if I get lucky enough to do it today without having any problems. But now that I see how it's sticking to everything, all the little metal chips from the die grinder, I'm really going to have to be careful. Well, that's, I guess, about it. Once I get this done, I think I'm going to get up on the roof and I'm going to do the overhead. The roof. Let me see. I think once I get the roof done, I'll put my side mounts back on. I'll probably go and take some compound and just compound the car lightly just to get some of the junk off of it. Make it just a little bit shinier because I did the front fenders. You can see they have just a little bit of gloss to them, even though they're all boogered up. And let me see. Yeah, so I'm gonna do the rest of the car just so it looks a little bit presentable. Put the bumper on the front, the headlights on it, and let me see. I guess I'll put gas in it, and I've got antifreeze and water in it, and I filled my steer and gearbox with 600 weight, which is the Model A rear end grease, oil. And of course, like everything, it ran out on the floor. So can't do that. I mean, it's got some lubricant in there. I got a little tray. It's hard to see, but it's a little tray on the floor catching it. But this is what I filled, is that there. And so I think once the oil finds its level, I'm going to make a way to shoot grease into this and fill it full of grease. And just let it go at that, because it's not going to hold oil. So, and I still have to check the rear end for oil. And I have to do the transmission for oil yet. So I think that's roughly about it. And then I think I'll be finished enough with this car that I can take it out for a test drive. It was a little tricky getting the hoods adjusted. Because the latches weren't right on it. The catches here and here, which are down here, they were out of adjustment, and I think something was bent. There's a wire in the back which is hooked to that handle, and you turn it, and it worked fine when it wasn't down, but as soon as you put it down, it was stuck. You couldn't turn it because the wires were hitting the lock part of the hood. So I had to fool with that. But in order to see this side, I had to climb with a light over top the engine from the other side and look down this way to find out what was going on with the piece in the back. That's the adjustment right there. And then it's got another one right there. And everything was just a little out of whack. But it was a hoot to have to climb over the engine and look down in there. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. And I got my air filter on. That seemed to fit okay. I had to do something with this choke because the choke was on the other side. Got to take the carburetor off again and take the choke out of it and move it to this side and then hook it up because the cable wouldn't work going around it like that. So, but everything is coming together, I reckon. I hope this car goes down the road as good as the other one. I sort of hope it does. I guess that's all I can do. I think both of them have about the same play in the steering. So that shouldn't be an issue, holding it on the road, but you don't know until you get driving it. Well, let me see. I haven't done anything to the Chevy. I've gotten some felt goes along the area for the hoods, and I've got the windshield cleaned and painted so I can install that. But I think that's just about it. Haven't done anything with the Model A. That's sort of hard to get back on after working on my Chevy truck and this car. It feels like I'm working on a tin can when I go to work on the Model A. But we'll see. So I guess this is about it. So until I get this done, I'll just get back with you and give you a look-see. All right. So I'll see y'all later.